Well, I ordered some cigars. It's been a long time since I had any. Fancier than I usually get. I don't know where my clipper is, though. I have one that's decent and one that's shitty, and I don't think the shitty one's here, but I think the decent one is somewhere. No idea where it is. Anyway, the reason I'm doing this is people have asked, hey, what's with the pile of books? What's in them? Yeah. Well, okay, fine. We can take a look, but basically, there's, I think, another row hidden behind there. So it's a mixture of shit that was worth bringing up from Phoenix, where I had probably about this many at the time, but got rid of more than half of them. We got computer books, a few that I decided were worth keeping, kicking around there. Some more here. I need some of these occasionally as references, I convince myself, but honestly, I never actually look at them anymore. There were times when I had to look at the C# stuff when I was first starting this job because I hadn't worked in C# for a while, and the Java stuff. But honestly, I've gotten used to what the flaws are and what to look at. Most of the rest of it, so there's a few that I've bought, but almost everything is shit that I've found in the little free libraries or in trash cans or whatever. Just stuff that people are getting rid of. Some exceptions. Somewhere or another I have, what the hell is it? The Ender's Game series, most of that, which I actually bought. Oh, hi, little birdie. But yeah, most of this is just crap that I found that I said, oh, that looks interesting, and I'll put it in a pocket or something. And then it gets piled over here when I'm done, with the exception of maybe a few that I want to keep. Most of which are ones that I probably brought from Phoenix, although there's a fair amount of science fiction that shows up in one particular place that I go to, one of the little free libraries near University Park that sometimes gets some stuff. I shouldn't tell you, geez, if you're a science fiction person. But yeah, I mean, it's mainly just junk that I find. I did, Orson Scott Card, that's, I did talk to, I did buy a few history books from someone. Oh, and yeah, I got some math mixed in there too. This damn thing, I actually paid about $10 for, damn it. And it's almost impossible for me to make my way through. I've been reading it for about 2 years, and it's holding me off from reading a lot of these other books that I just grab. I mean, some of these, I don't even know why I get them. I recognize the author, or it's a subject that I'm really interested in. There's really not a lot to them. I don't have a lot to say about them because they weren't collected all that intentionally. My own tastes tend towards the fantasy and science fiction side, although what I've found is, at least on the science fiction stuff, I'm really unhappy with more modern science fiction. But yeah, once upon a time I had a huge quantity of books. Maybe not that many, but I'm looking at this and I'm like, this seems like a fairly large quantity, actually. I don't know, maybe twice this many or whatever. And I gave almost all of them to my first wife. And, I don't really regret that for most of them. There are a couple of books that I really miss. But, if I really want them, I'll hunt them down and get them. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. You know, I had like a lot of Zelazny. She loved Zelazny too, so I didn't mind giving her those terribly much. But there were a few others that that I didn't. Anyway, I mean, this is the best I can kind of do because again, I didn't really intentionally grab them. Like the Robert Jordan, you know, I read those. They made it up. I don't know if they'll make it through my second reading. Which just because it's so easy to find books now. You know, once upon a time when I grabbed books, you know, I had to find them either at tag sales or at Goodwill or something like that and buy them, you know, for $1 or less. And it was, you know, by that point now I'm heavily invested. But anything that I didn't buy, I'm a lot more willing to let go. Although there are things, you know, like the Kurtz one, I was following that whole series, but now I only have one book in it. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to tell here except, you know, looking at them and, gee, these are things that caught my eye and I thought about. You'll see some religious stuff. Some, for example, this one was sent to me in my time of grief, and I don't know when I'll get around to reading it. You know, I've read Christian apologists. I've read C.S. Lewis, and I like C.S. Lewis a lot. It's not going to convince me of anything. I'm much more interested in the historical side of those aspects. Similarly, we've got stuff with other religions kicking around in there somewhere. Things like steampunk, yeah, who knows? You know, I've read some steampunk that I kind of liked. I've read some stuff along that line. We'll see. Probably will be a one reading and go away. I've even been getting rid of things that were given to me over time that I actually carried around for a while just because, yeah, you know, I've read them 3-4 times. What the hell? You know, how many times can I make it through a book, especially now? Some of them, these guys, the Tom Robbins, I'm kind of stuck with those because someone sent them to me or lent them to me, and it was not really a I'm giving you these books type situation, but it's like I enjoy them. I'd rather give them back to her. I offered, and that offer wasn't, you know, was kind of like, no, it's not worth it. I've picked up new ones or whatever, but I'm now kind of stuck with them because, like, that's just the way I am. I can't get rid of stuff that I feel I owe someone for whatever reason. It's much, much harder. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, is this fiction? Is this... I don't even know these things, but I don't know. This looks like it's historical. Wow. I'm getting rid of a Mary Stuart, but I liked, from the Merlin series actually, but it was really crappy. But I'm keeping this. Some of the Old Farmer was good, so I'm keeping that. I like Faulkner a lot. I read some Faulkner. I may have some kicking around still somewhere. I don't know where, if it is. It feels like something I read when I was in Phoenix, but I don't know. Is this it? No. This is historical. Tales of the Arabian Nights. I was very happy to find that, largely because my first wife had a copy of that and loved it, and so it's hard for me to get rid of. Things like this, you know, Stephen King, whatever. I read that and I liked it enough, and I didn't have many books when I was in Phoenix that I thought I'd reread. But now the flow has gotten much more towards coming in than out. And, you know, something like this, this is, you know, like a history, you know, an introductory history to Western Civ type thing. I've enjoyed reading those throughout my life, and it's really hard for me to pass up picking one up when I see one. So it's just like, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to gain from, a broad overview like that. But yeah, this is not stuff largely that, I intend to keep. The math and computer books, yeah, because even if when they're out of date, as long as they're not like, I don't know, stupid shit. I got rid of all the I had piles and piles of things like Excel and shit like that. That I'm like, it's changed in the 20 years since the book was written, and who cares? But some of the other stuff here, I'm a little iffier about. So like neural networks have changed significantly since I picked these up. Those I actually ordered. I don't know. Anyway, this is just because people were asking about it. Up. Much more interesting to me is my music, but nobody cares about that. I don't know if anybody ever saw it. I got my CDs over here and tapes here, and that's all I got. I've got albums in my mom's basement, but I taped all of them. All right, up it goes.